Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next to my Business Basics series. These are business classes that give you the basic skills you need to survive in the world of business. And today we're going to look at one that you might not expect, the surprising power of introverts. In this class, I have a question. How can being an introvert help you? That is to say, shy. How can being an introvert help you in business? Today, you'll discuss the difficulties that shy people have at work and how that may be their secret weapon. You'll practice useful business skills such as feeling empathy. That is a business skill, by the way. Feeling empathy with and understanding for your coworkers, especially those who have different character traits than you. All that and more coming up in just a moment. But first, let me do a quick introduction to get started, okay? And we'll give everyone a chance to come on in. So first of all, my name is John Eric. I'm your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on that link in the Verbling chat window, you can go to my profile page. If you click follow, you'll be able to see all my upcoming group classes, and of course you can schedule a private tutoring class with me. Together, we'll work on a personalized learning plan to help you with your specific goals and get you to those goals as fast and as painlessly as possible. Just do me one favor. If you want to do a private tutoring class, send me a message in the Verbling chat window first, so that I can find time for you in my schedule, okay? Makes things a little easier. Let's get started, everyone. I'm going to open the material in a new window, share my screen, and then we're going to tackle a discussion and a very interesting article. So give me just a second to get this open. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let me put this on screen and I'll share the link with you if you don't have it already, okay? So, let's say hello to everyone. There's the link to the article. Let me just say hello to some new people that I don't think I've seen before. So, first of all, the first person I saw was Yaroslav. I have seen you before, Yaroslav. I've seen you a few classes ago, I believe. How are you?
Thank you, John. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Nice to see you again. And
Thank you.
And Albina. Now, Albina, I'm not sure if I've seen you before. I think this might be the first time. How are you, Albina?
No, it's not first time. It's the second time, actually. I'm okay. We studied advanced idioms.
Okay, okay. But you had a different picture back then.
Yeah, okay. I changed it.
I get confused.
My hobby is yoga, so that is why I decided to change it.
Okay, very good. You look far more flexible than I am. I don't think I could do what you're doing.
I spent every day 1.5 hours in the gym because for that. Yes.
Oh, I see. I spend 10 hours a day sitting in a chair, so I guess it's not the same.
Yes, I see.
Very good, very good. Let's see, and we've also got Ms. Cecile. Hello, Cecile. How are you?
Hello, John. Fine, thank you.
Hello. How are you?
Fine. Nice to meet you.
Very good. Are you the Cecile who's always in the chat window?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Because I can't see your last name, and now I see your last name, so I didn't know if it was the same Cecile, but I believe it is. Okay. Nice to see you. And we have some other new faces here. We lost Giordano. Hopefully he'll be back, but we have Mauro. Hello, Mauro. How are you? Mr. Mauro? Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Fine, thank you. You? So it's okay?
You're very echoey. And where are you from, Mauro?
I am from Italy.
I thought so. North, south, middle?
Yeah, I am originally from the south, but now I live in the north of Italy.
Ah, okay. You wanted to go skiing, right?
Right.
There you go. Excellent. Okay, and welcome back, familiar faces and esteemed regulars or semi-regulars like Mr. Sasha. How are you, Sasha?
Hi, teacher. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Are you using the great suspender today? I am.
Yeah, sure. Every day. I use
Okay.
it every day.
And LastPass, and of course, Evernote Clipper, very important.
No, I don't use Evernote.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you're
No.
missing.
I use Evernote, but I use a Windows application and it has hotkeys that can catch the part of screen or text from browser.
What, you mean OneNote?
No, Evernote.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you use Evernote, you can click the screen. I
No,
think
but you use a for browser special little program, but I use a Windows program for it. It's different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're telling me something I don't know. I must know what you know, Sasha. You must tell me the secrets. So, send me a link or something. I need to know.
Do you use Evernote application for Windows?
Yeah.
So in settings there is an option
Uh-huh.
hotkeys.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
for,
okay. So you can adjust them. They're
yes, and you
okay.
can delete the application from Chrome
I see. I
and
see.
use it only the Windows application.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I will.
it's not.
I will. Go
Sorry,
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's not necessary to use it Google in browser applications. It's little. I don't know how it called.
Extension.
Extension. Yes, it's not necessary for Evernote.
Very good. Very good. Everyone, Sasha is our local computer genius, and if you need advice, go to him because he knows. He knows better than me. Excellent. I will start to do that. Okay, and welcome back, Javier, Jose, Vanan. Nice to see you. Everyone, oh my God, I can't speak. Take a look at this. The power of introverts. Nice to see you. I want to ask you a question before we jump into this topic, which is really interesting. Give me just a second here, because I can't get my questions on the screen. Give me a second. Something's wrong. Okay. There we go. So my first question for you as a class is this. When someone asks you to give your opinion on a work-related topic, do you prefer to A, answer immediately to get your point of view across, or B, think about it and answer later? So think about how you interact with people at work. So let me see. I'm just curious. All the A's, raise your hand. Oh, I can't see any of you. Okay, we're going to have to speak then. How many people here answered A? Do we have any A's? No? No one? Wow. How many people here answered B? Do we have any B's?
Yeah.
Jose is a B?
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this
And
an entire class of B's? Really? What's wrong with us? I'm a B too.
yeah, because we are learning on the Verbling classes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
We are clever people.
I think it's better to think about it and answer later.
I think thinking is overrated. Just a feeling. I could be wrong. So someone said it depends. Who said it depends?
I said
Oh, okay, good.
it depends on the series of questions. How serious it is.
That depends on how serious it is. Well, if it's at work. So if it's at work, give us an example where you might answer with an A instead of a B at work, Sasha. What comes to mind? I think you're right. It always depends. So,
For instance, if my boss asked me if he should hire the guy that was at interview, like he asked me my opinion, maybe I need time to think about. Yeah, but if my coworkers ask me where's stapler, of course,
right.
I can answer him now immediately.
True, but where is the stapler is not a work-related topic. It's more of just an information question, right? I know what you're saying.
As
but,
well, it depends. Depends on information that I have of work. It can be A, it can be B. As I said, it depends.
And it's a good point, because what you're getting at is something which scientists have recently discovered in the last 10 years, which is that we have two ways of thinking. We have a fast way and a slow way. Did anyone read that book, Thinking Fast and Slow? Or has anyone heard of that book? I think it's Daniel Kaufman or something like that. I forget the name of the author. I'll see if I can look it up for you.
Yeah, I heard the name, the title, yeah, but I didn't.
Thinking Fast and Slow. Let me see if I can give you a quick link to it. I think, Sasha, Daniel, it's Kahneman, sorry, not Kaufman, Daniel Kahneman. I think what you're getting at is we have a reflexive way to answer. And I'll put the link for you here. Take a look at this link, everyone. We have a reflexive way to answer, like a fast way, and then we have a kind of a slow way, which requires actual thinking. So I think what you're getting at, Sasha, is it depends if it requires thinking. And the problem that people make, or the problem that people run into, is that they mistake some questions for being fast when they're really slow. So that's actually a really good point if you think about it that way. Well, I wonder if that has something to do with whether or not you're, an introvert or an extrovert. Could be. So I think we should keep that in mind. Well, let's do this. Let's read the very first paragraph where you're going to find an expert who talks about being an introvert, and we'll find out which category you're in, the introvert or the extrovert category. I think you already know, and whether or not you agree. Okay? And then we'll see if we can open this topic up to talk about the workplace and what the implications are for us as business people or professionals. So I'm going to jump forward, forget about the vocabulary for a second, and I'd like just to read the very beginning and start to talk about it. Okay? So let's go around the room. I don't really have numbers here, so let's do this. Yaroslav, could you just start us off on the left side of the screen? We're just going to read the very beginning, okay?
Okay. The Power of Introverts, Quiet Please, by Margaret Davis. Introverts like to listen rather than talk and prefer one-to-one conversations to group discussions. Despite this, they have a leading position in our extroverted world of work.
By the way, you got to slow down just a little bit because I'm not hearing some of the words. Like in our, I'm hearing inner. So you need to slow down just a touch. So say positions in our extroverted. In our. Repeat that for me.
Okay, I'll try. Positions in our extroverted world of work.
World.
World.
It's difficult because of the L. Okay. So, how does the author feel about the normal workplace environment, Yaroslav? Based on that just very, very beginning, how does the author feel about it?
I think many bosses and companies now prefer more extroverted specialists, and I think especially maybe in sales works that's related with sales and so on. But still, there are a lot of introverts here in our world, and maybe some companies prefer more extroverted people than introverts.
That's interesting. What companies do you think would prefer introverts? Give me an example.
I think it's maybe the government-related companies. No, not companies. I think maybe police works, maybe some doctors and so on.
Really?
Healthcare systems.
It's hard to imagine an introverted policeman. But maybe there should be, actually. Maybe there should be. Well, let's come back to that idea about what companies or different employers prefer. Let's come back to it because it's an interesting point. I think it's good that you brought it up. Van Ann, can you take the next paragraph on the left for us?
Sure. At the end of the presentation of prototypes for a new product, the boss asked everyone in the group to speak. You've got 1 minute to tell us which prototype you prefer and why. Let's go around the room, starting with Margaret. Sorry, I don't do instant opinions, Margaret said, to laughter from her colleagues. My name is Margaret, and if there's one thing I hate, it's being called upon to spread an opinion on something I've seen for the first time just half an hour earlier. Give me a few minutes on my own, and I can probably think of something, but rarely in a group.
Wow. So Margaret is the author of this article, actually, and everyone thought that she was joking. But was she joking, Van Ann?
I don't think she's joking.
Yeah. So, what do you think? This kind of presents one. I think this is the first problem that introverted or shy people might have.
Yes, I think they don't like to give opinion in a group of people, and they don't like some spontaneous opinion. Like they need time to think carefully before saying something.
Okay. So I agree. I agree. That's what Margaret is basically saying. She needs time to think. I don't do instant opinions. Okay, well, let's keep reading this first page, and then we'll open this up for discussion, and I want to know if you have similar experiences. By the way, welcome to class, Tanya. You came in when we were reading. Hello, Tanya, how are you? Hello, hello? Hello, Tanya? Hello, hello?
Hi, teacher, I'm here.
Okay. There you are. Very good, very good. Okay, so we're talking about introverts and extroverts, specifically whether or not being introverted is kind of a helpful thing, because the stereotype is that introverts aren't going to get very far, they're going to be taken advantage of, they're not going to stand up for themselves. This author is giving us a very different point of view, and I think it's kind of interesting. So we're just going to read the introduction first. That's where we are. All right, let's get a new person in here. Maru, how about you take the next paragraph on the top right side? Can you see where we are, Maru? Hello, Maru, are you there? Hello, hello? I don't hear Maru. Okay, let's go to another new person. Let's go to, how about Cecile? Can you take the next paragraph on the top right side for us?
Yes, and this reaction is typical of introverts or of people with some introverted traits, according to Susan Cain, best-selling author of Quite the Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. Cain says that the problem workplace, with its emphasis of group work and open-plan offices, is designed with extroverts in mind. This reflects a trend in Western society, particularly in the US, according to Cain, a former Wall Street lawyer who describes herself as an introvert. The extroverts ideal really came into play at the turn of the 20th centuries when we
Like this, 20th.
20th centuries
Good.
century when we had the rise of big business. Kane told National Public Radio, suddenly people were flocking to the cities and they were needing to prove themselves in big corporations, at job interviews and on sales calls. We move from what cultural historians call a culture of character to a culture of personality, she says, ending that what was
Like this, admired.
admired
Good.
was to be magnetic and charismatic.
Magnetic. Good. I know it looks like champagne.
Yes.
But it's not. It's not. In English, the G and the N are separate. Magnetic. Think about the X-Men with Magneto. Think about that movie with, what's his name? What's the name of that actor? Come on, famous actor.
Magnum.
Yeah, but what's the name of the...
Tom Selleck.
No, it's not Tom Selleck.
No.
Not that Magna. Not Magna guy. No, that's 280s. Hold on. What's the... Oh, Ian McKellen. Think about Ian McKellen. Magneto. There you go. By the way, take a look at this link in the chat window because that is... I don't know if you can... If it will open, but that's the link to Susan Cain's book on Wikipedia. Quiet, the Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. Okay, so listen, we've got everything we need to get started with the talk because I think so many interesting points are brought up in the first part that I can hear, we can sort of exchange some ideas. Earlier I said read the first paragraph of the article and say how you think the author would answer those questions. So first of all, let's answer that. Let's see. Albina, how do you think the author would answer that question that we started with?
The author would say B. Think about it and answer later.
Mm-hmm. And now here's the question of the day for me. Why? Why would they prefer to think about it and answer later?
Because it's her, the trait of her character don't react immediately. She needs time to think carefully before saying something aloud.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're saying it's just a. So what you're saying is it's just a character trait.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I think it's a lot of people might say the same, character trait. I agree, and good vocabulary word. But we're going to try to go beyond the surface. Why is it a character trait? I'm just curious. What makes people introverted? Let's play psychologist for a minute. Javier, what would you say? If we go beyond it's just a character trait of Margarita, Margaret, what's her name? Margaret, I think. The writer here of the article. Yeah, Margaret. Mm-hmm. We could say it's her character trait, but I'm curious, let's generalize. What do you think makes people, some people, want to think about it and answer later? As Van Ann said earlier, some people, like Margaret mentioned, as Van Ann said earlier, some people don't want to answer in a group. Why do you think that is?
I think that they are scared of the opinion of the others, so that's why they want to think about it. No?
So the question here is what makes an introvert? What do we think? What makes, I'm going to write this in the chat window, what makes an introvert? Let's say that's our question. And so one possible answer is they're afraid of people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We've all decided earlier that we're a room full of introverts. Are we all afraid of each other's opinions? I'm not afraid of your opinion, Javier.
How about you? But yeah, probably some of people, yeah, or they are or they prefer don't say silly things about something, so they prefer to know more deeply about the topic or about the subject of the discussion. So.
Hmm? By the way, let's make a just quick correction here. They prefer to don't say has to be they prefer to not say. Take a look in the chat window.
To say, not say. Okay.
When you have a to, you have to use not.
Okay, they prefer to not say.
Not say. Silly things. Okay. I think a lot of people would agree with you. Maru, what do you think? Are people introverted because they're afraid of other people's opinions? Maru, do you know how to turn on your mic? Are you there? There you are.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Could you say again the question, please?
Yeah, we're trying to decide what makes an introvert. Based on the reading we just did, and based on your experience, why are some people afraid? In this first question on the screen, when someone asks you your opinion on a work-related topic, do you prefer to? Everyone said B.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Think about it and answer later. And my question is, why? What makes an introvert?
Because I think it's better before answering in any context. It's better to reflect. So when someone reflects about the question, later he can give a better answers.
So what you're saying is introverts are more thoughtful, more reflective.
Introverts
are more thoughtful.
Well, I don't know this term.
Oh, take a look. Take a look in the chat window.
Yeah, yes.
Thoughtful means that they think more.
Yes, more reflective. Yeah, yes. I think so.
Think more, or maybe deeper. Be thoughtful.
Yeah. I think,
interesting.
But there is when introverts are deeper, are also more sensitive.
Okay. So that
they could guess in the forecast, the prevision about situation. Also, they have to reflect about the future.
One thing here, let's change a word. The forecast is really for the weather, or the forecast is for Wall Street. So when you're talking about a situation, we might say that they can think, we'll use a phrasal verb, they can think through a situation better. They can think ahead better, or they can maybe see the consequences
okay.
better. Three ways you could say instead of forecast.
Okay, thank you.
The little M means, when I write an M, it means there's some kind of mistake, maybe the wrong word or maybe something like that. So here the mistake is forecast. It really only fits for something that's like numerical, like what's the temperature going to be like tomorrow? That would be forecast, right? So so that's what the M is about. So we got some interesting ideas already. We've got what makes an introvert. Being sensitive, we think, makes an introvert. Possibly being afraid of other people's opinion, possibly. That could be linked to being sensitive too. Also, being better able to reflect. What I'm getting at here is that the negative stereotype of being an introvert, in this class, we already think that it's maybe not true. The things we're talking about are not negative characteristics. And yet, Susan Cain has this really interesting idea. If you go back for a second, in the second paragraph, she mentions, where was it? Kane says that the modern workplace, with its emphasis on group work and open plan offices, is designed with extroverts in mind. Tanya, what do you think about that statement in the top left, that the modern workplace is designed for extroverts? What's your opinion? Do you agree with that?
Sometimes you need to decide quickly. So you need to
decide quickly about what?
So first you need to decide you have a meeting to decide how can I say, to get some results quickly, and you need to decide things quickly, and you need to get information and opinion quickly too. So in this case, to be extrovert,
right?
Extroverted.
Good.
Correct. Extroverted. Yeah. It's very nice. It's better for the company, for the group.
Sure, but how does that connect to that sentence? What's the connection to? Just because I want to take a look at some points that she's raised. So look at that. Look on the top right side. After the title of the book, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. After that title, there's a statement. Susan Cain, the author, says that the modern workplace, with its emphasis on group work and open plan offices, is designed with extroverts in mind. In other words, it's designed for extroverts, not for introverts. So do you agree that the modern workplace is not designed for introverts? Do you agree?
Not really.
Okay. Tell us why.
Because, for example, there could be a person in a group that have good ideas to expose, to show for the group, but they are afraid to expose, to make a mistake, because they need to be comfortable to expose, to show their ideas. So I don't believe that the group needs to be how can I say format. No, it needs the group. Oh my God, I don't believe that the group needs to be, how can I say, constructed.
You can also say formed. It's okay.
Yeah, formed. Okay. And needs to be formed with only extroverted mind, because they, how can I say?
Okay, but hang on a second. Let me interrupt for a second. Just a second here. First of all, there's a little mistake we want to correct. When you would say expose, what you want to say is, what you really wanted to say was express. They couldn't express their opinion.
Express. Yes, that's
express. It. And what Cain is saying is that it's not whether it should or shouldn't be that designed for introverts. It's that it is designed for introverts. The modern workplace is designed for introverts. That's her statement. So we might agree with you, Tanya, that it should be, but the question is it really that way? According to what she says. So, what do you think about this, Yaroslav? Do you think that the modern workplace is biased? That means prejudiced for extroverted people. Is it biased for extroverted people?
I think I'm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sir John, what does it mean, bias?
I'll tell you. Hang on a second. This is a good word, and I'll put it in the chat window. Whoops. You can take a look at the pronunciation, too. Biased. Biased.
Biased. Okay.
Means that you believe in something, whether or not, or you're for something, whether or not it's fair. So I can say something like this. Look at the chat window. Unfairly prejudiced for or against someone or something. Normally we talk about racial bias, right? If you're white and you're making jokes about black people, you're biased against black people, right? You're racist. So we normally think about biased with race. Bias could be any kind of a bias, though. Okay, so it means prejudiced. You have an unfair opinion. So, is the modern workplace biased toward extroverts? Does that mean it gives extra help for extroverts? It's designed for extroverts. What do you think? Tanya said it shouldn't be that way. Yaroslav, do you believe that it is that way?
I've been working in many companies as a sales manager. So in that companies, I think that statement is true because there are a lot of extroverts there and workplaces for extroverts. But I think people can't divide it only on extroverts and introverts. They are also in some sort of introvert.
So it's not so simple as that, yeah?
Yeah. Because I think it's better to be only introvert in this higher grade, I think, or only extrovert. So, as for me, I'm more introvert, and working. I think the first year working in sales was hard for me, but after that, I think I learned how to combine my skills of the introvert and learned a lot of stuff of the extrovert world, and I think it is really great for me and for my future work, future career.
So you seem to be saying that the workplace, at least in your area, in sales, really is biased for extroverts, but that it was helpful for you, if I understood correctly.
Yeah, because I really like that I can learn how to communicate with different types of people and working in groups. I think in the modern world, it's very helpful and useful skill that you should acquire. But I think maybe in some other fields you may go with only introverts skills, and you will be successful there.
We're going to find out a few cases like that, actually, as we keep reading. By the way, Yaroslav, just one correction. In the very beginning, take a look at the chat window. I corrected the first sentence you said. Look in the chat window for a second. Do you see what I wrote? Yaroslav? Yaroslav, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can see it in those companies, yes?
Yeah, because you said companies, but you said that. So it's an agreement issue, okay? You probably weren't aware of what you were saying. All right, and there's one other point here. I'd like actually for us to read the rest of the article. If it's a little bit long, but we'll see how well we do. But just one more point I want to bring up and get your opinion about. So look at the last line there on the right side. We moved from what cultural historians call a culture of character to a culture of personality. That is, to me, that's a really interesting idea that's not really easy to understand, actually. So I want to get your opinion about that. First of all, so let me go to how about Sasha? What do you think about that line? What do you think it means? We moved from a culture of character to a culture of personality. So in the modern era, changing from the old, maybe 19th century going into the 20th century, somehow this shift occurred. What do you think it means, and do you agree?
Sorry, where is the sentence? Sorry.
Take a look at
I
the
tuned out a little bit.
take a look at the last line on the right side. We moved. See that?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Why don't you read it again? We moved from.
Okay. We moved from what cultural historians call a culture of character to a culture of personality. She says, adding that what was admired was to be magnetic and charismatic.
So what do you think that means? Let's try to connect this to reality or to your experience.
I'm not actually. I'm not sure about the meanings.
Well, it might help also to take a look a little bit earlier. Suddenly, look at the line before, suddenly people were flocking to the cities. They were needing to prove themselves in big corporations, at job interviews and on sales calls. So they're talking about some shift that happened in the world of work in the 20th century. At least that's my take on it. Class. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sasha.
Do you mean about that people are flocking together in the flocks? And
That's
now
right.
now
That's
it's
part of it.
changed, but I think it will be all the time, because it's in psychology there's a thing, I don't remember how it's called. People have a need to associate yourself with a group, so I think it will be at all times.
Mm-hmm. The need to fit in, I guess.
Oh, it means what? So
the need to fit in. The need to fit in means be part of a group, like this. And you're absolutely right. That's a psychological. You're absolutely right about that. Well documented. In fact, one thing that comes to my mind about what you're talking about is how people can be coerced by the police to give false confessions, right? Well, the same thing can happen in a workplace where you might go completely against your beliefs because the group thinks a different way, and therefore you doubt yourself. It's just like a normal psychological thing. So this need to fit in, it's not just a personal quirk of individual people, it's got something to do with our psychology. So I think that's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely. What about the rest of you before we move on? What do you think about this point that we've moved from a culture of personality, and what do you think that means, to a culture of, oh, I'm sorry, from a culture of, I need to just mute you for a second, Sasha, because I'm getting a big echo on your side. We moved from a culture of character to a culture of personality. So, just out of curiosity, what was the culture of character that came before the modern age with job interviews in big companies? Let's try to just connect that to something real. Does anyone want to make a guess about that? What would you say?
Perhaps the culture of characters are based on your qualities, and you have to show that you can do in fact.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to define, isn't it?
Yes.
It's better to come up with an example, I think. So the culture of character, from what we've read here, to me, has something to do with how people live together in the 19th century, 18th century, 17th century, and that she's trying, the author is trying to make this argument that in the 20th century this was completely turned around. So, Cecile, what was different? How did people relate to each other before the corporation, before big companies? Then we can give an example. Then we can see what she means by a culture of character. What was the difference in how people interacted in the 19th century as opposed to the 20th century?
For me, in my opinion, the word is less individual.
Ah, now you mean in the 20th century?
Yes.
Yeah, less individual. We can say individualist. Yeah, less individualistic. Less
Okay.
It's hard to write. It's hard to spell that. Individualistic. Like, whoops. It became less individualistic.
And people before people accepted more the difference between each other.
People were more accepting. I beg to differ with you on that point, Cecile. I have a different opinion.
Nice. We can argue.
Well, because I'm thinking about, I now live in a city where one day, 500 years ago, they decided to burn half the population in the public square. And I'm not saying that happens less. I think it still happens in a different way. Now we just fly drones over them. We don't burn them in the square. We drop bombs on them. But I would say that outside, in your community, people were probably more accepting. I agree with you on if it's in a community. I think between communities, they were far less accepting. What do you think about that idea? I'd make a little aside and just say, I think you're right. People were more accepting within their own community and far less accepting between communities. Because, for example, we ended slavery, 150 years ago. Women's suffrage about 100 years ago. And all of those movements, they got a shot in the arm in the 60s and 70s. And what was just, the laws might have been changed, but they didn't really have a huge change until more recently. But they started to. So I would just say that. But anyway, I think you got the right idea. Yeah, less individualistic, more accepting. So we've got a lot to talk about here, but I want to help you with this article because this is where your vocabulary is. So at the end of class, let's do this. I want to show you what you can do, and I want you to I'm going to give you a little bit of help so that you can read this article on your own because it's a little bit long. So I want to help you to read this article on your own between now and Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we're going to have different activities around the idea of introverts, extroverts. You're going to profile a famous person as an introvert or an extrovert using the vocabulary that you learn, and we'll do other things as well. So I want to help you with that now by going to the vocabulary section here on slide 3 and 4. And I want to see if you can recognize some of these words because they're kind of advanced. If you can pronounce them, and if you know them now, you should be able to read the article with no problems, with no major problems, because these are kind of the tough words in the article. Okay? So I want to just go around the room and make sure you know some of these words. So I want you to say it, see if you can match it up to a definition on your screen. Okay? So Albina, can you say the first word on the top left side?
Lopsided.
Perfect. Lopsided. Can you match it up to one of those definitions?
It is only one word which I don't know.
Is the only word you don't know?
Yes, yes, I know all of them except this one.
Except that one. But that's okay. Why don't you take a minute, and we'll come back to you in a second, and see if you can match it up to one of those definitions from 1 to 7. See if you can. Okay? I'm going to keep going around the room from left to right. The next person I see is Cecile. Can you say the second word in the box?
Reflect?
Okay. No, it's okay. Reflect. Let's go on reflect.
Reflect, for me, is to show the existence or nature of something.
The existence, to show the existence or the nature of something. To reflect. Yeah, like this decision reflects on who you really are, for example. To reflect. In that sense, I agree with you. Okay. I'm going to ask you, actually, to make example sentences if you can. But I gave you one today.
Okay.
Give me just a second here, because I want to go to my notes quickly. Where is my notes? Where are my notes? Whoops. Is there anything else I want to say about reflects? Let me see if I can find my notes. I don't have them. If I don't have them soon, I will give up. Where are they? Interesting. I can't find my notes. All right, forget it. All right, I don't know what I wanted to say. Javier, can you say the word in between lopsided and reflect? Can you pronounce that for me? The one right in the middle there, between lopsided and reflect on the bottom.
Undervalued.
Repeat after me. Undervalued.
Undervalued.
Excellent.
Undervalued.
Okay. Do you see a definition there?
Undervalued.
Or can you use it yourself? If you can either way is okay.
Let me check. Not recognized as being important or valuable.
Not recognized as being important or valuable. Sounds good. Okay, very good. And Mauro, can you do the fourth word for us? Can you take the fourth word for us, Mauro? I don't hear Mauro. Going once, going twice. Okay, next in line is Mr. Jose. Can you say the fourth word for us?
The fourth word is traits.
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 Okay. Can you match it up or use it yourself?
Traits. The answer for me is particular qualities in someone's character.
There you go. Another word could be characteristics. Traits or characteristics. Okay, very good, very good. Let's go with Sasha for the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth word.
Solitude. It's a particular. No.
Nope.
No. Just a second. The state of being completely alone, especially when this is pleasant or relaxing.
Exactly. So solitude is not necessarily a bad thing. So it matches up with definition 5. Very good. Tanya, the sixth word, or the second to last word on the bottom. Hello, Tanya?
Hello.
Second to last.
Stimulation.
Good. Repeat after me. There's no S. Get rid of the S. Just stimulation.
Okay. Is stimulation.
I'm still hearing E, though. I'm hearing E, stimulation. But get rid of the E. Just listen to me. Stimulation.
Stimulation.
Good.
Stimulation. The state of being completely alone, especially when this is pleasant or relaxing.
Are you sure? Because that sounds like what Sasha just said.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me see.
If you don't see the definition, you could use it in your own way. It's just as long as we know what it means, that's the important thing.
Extra activity, pressure, or excitement.
That's it. So if your kid has ADHD, right, you have to reduce the stimulation of the environment because he or she can't handle it. So, you know, if you have attention deficit disorder, you have to cut out the stimulation so that people can focus. All right? And Van Ann, the last word in the top right. Can you say that for us?
Yeah, underappreciated.
Underappreciated is correct. And can you find the definition there?
I think that is when it is not realized that someone has good qualities and that they are, and that they are important.
Right. So you might feel underappreciated if your boss doesn't give you a raise or something like that, and you've been there forever. Okay, very good, very good. So these are some of the tricky words let me just see here, 1 second. I've got a few others, but we don't have time to go through all the definitions. But I would like to just hear you say these words, okay? And then if you don't know them, tell me, and I'll make sure that they're clear. Then I'm going to ask you to read this article on your own between now and Wednesday, and I've got a variety of things to do once this vocabulary is clear, because you're going to use it in the next class. So, Yaroslav, the first word on the left in the second set of keywords, can you just say that for us?
Yeah.
First word on the left.
It's crave.
It is crave. Okay. Who gets, what kind of person gets a craving for something?
I think it's definition to want something very much. It's maybe the person that is very thirsty, or maybe that needs something, needs some money, and so on.
You can crave money too. I was going to say the stereotype of a woman when she gets pregnant. The stereotype is that a woman starts to crave food that she doesn't normally eat. I don't know how true that is, but that's the stereotype. Someone can tell me if that's true. I've never been pregnant, so I don't know. Albina, can you say the second word for us in the second list, the blue word? It's false. Okay, now I know.
The second, yield.
The second is all the way over there? Oh, I was going to say the word next to crave. Look at the word next to crave.
Niche.
Niche. Niche.
Niche.
Okay.
Niche.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Ah, how about this? If I say this, let me see. Playing hockey is not your niche, Albina, but yoga is. Playing hockey is not your niche, but maybe yoga is your niche.
It's what you should do. What is your what is good for your character, for your personality.
Yeah, exactly. So niche comes from a physical thing, right? It matches up with definition 13. A small, I can't see because someone's writing there. Hold on. A small particular space. But you got the idea. It's something particular to you or your ability. Companies can have a niche, like a niche market. That's like a small part of the market that nobody else is selling in, so you can sell your product in that particular niche. Okay?
Yes, I see.
All right. And what's the question, Sasha? Oh, is that Sasha? I'm confused. Who's writing? I see all kinds of... What was the question, Sasha, about the article?
No, it's not relevant to class.
Oh, okay. And Van Ann, about the cult of character and cult of personality, So, let me just clear that up quickly. So, in the 20th century, what was the big change that happened in the world of work? Fernando? We've got to stop the class, but let's clear this up quickly. It's very loud where you are. Go ahead, Fernando. Go ahead.
Okay, I think in the 19th century, people tend to work in groups more than individual. So I think cultural character might mean like it can mean that they focus on a group of people more than individuals.
Okay, I think that's 50% of it. I think so. And the other 50% is just to say that because you worked and lived in smaller groups, like we lived in villages, not cities, right? Because of that, everyone's character, whether they were good or bad, moral or immoral, was more important than their superficial qualities. Whereas in the world of living in cities where you've got millions of people together, lots of competition, you've got to be more flashy.
Okay.
Right? Personality, which is more superficial, became more important. I think that's the point. Okay, we've got to stop because all of you have to go to other classes. I want you to read the rest of this article, and if there's any questions, send me comments and I'll help you. We're going to do lots of activities around this vocabulary and around what it means to be an introvert and whether or not we think that we need to change the world of work. That's going to be a major part of our activities on Wednesday. Bye for now, everyone. Very interesting discussion. Great to have you. Bye for now.
Bye bye. See you.
Bye.
Thank you.